You guys. You guys, Voltron. Carla here, and guess what? I had a very productive weekend of watching TV. I finally got around to watching the first season of Luke Cage, which I had on my to-watch list for freaking ever, but I finally watched it. I actually quite like it. I think I still like Jessica Jones a little better just because, I don't know, Jessica Jones is so cool. Luke Cage was a little bit more introspective, which is okay. It's fine. I like that. I like that they're different and that it wasn't all about the action. I like that the villains were actual real people with actual real motivations that can actually happen in real life, and it's not about superpowers. But still, I think I lean more toward Jessica Jones a little bit. But that said, it was still a great show. I can't wait to see the second season. I'm gonna watch Defenders eventually, if I get to it someday. I still have a lot of other shows to get to in my to-watch list before I get to Defenders, but now I can watch Defenders. I'm not touching Iron Fist with a 10-foot pole. I'm just gonna go straight to Defenders, and that's gonna be it. Apart from that, though, I finally got around to watching the third season of Voltron. And when I started binging it, I realized, holy shit, this thing is only 7 episodes long. And then I was sad. But it was so short that I was able to binge through it in like 2 days, so that's good. Meaning I have already finished it and I am on a Voltron high because holy shit, you guys, my entire childhood is coming back and I am so ecstatic. So I decided today's video is going to be about Voltron specifically. I'm just gonna go back to the trusty old 30-day challenge meme. And I'm just gonna talk Voltron. Everything I love about it, everything I hate about it. There's not much I hate about it, but I'm just gonna talk Voltron all day today, or, you know, as succinctly as I possibly can, because I don't want this video to be too long either. So I'm gonna start now. There might be spoilers for season 3. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. It's so great. And come on, you guys, it's only 7 episodes long. You really have no excuse. You can watch that in like half an afternoon. It just took me 2 days because I'm slow. But genuinely speaking, you can watch the whole season of Voltron in like 1 afternoon. So there's really no excuse. Go watch it. There will be spoilers. I'm not holding back on anything. So keep that in mind.
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger! No, Will Robinson! Danger!
So I'm gonna start with number 1. Number 1 is, who is your favorite Voltron character? And I've already mentioned this in other videos before. My favorite character has always been Lance. And I don't know, I just really love him. I know that this new version of Voltron, the Netflix one, sort of makes him a little bit into the class clown, comic relief type. I don't mind. I like that he's funny. I also like that he does get some very deep moments in this series, even though he's mostly comic relief. He's actually a really great pilot. He's a great sharpshooter. I really enjoy that aspect of him. And I think there's just more to him than we've seen so far. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him in other capacities rather than just the comic relief. But I love Lance. I've always loved Lance, even when I was a kid. So he's my favorite, always. Number 2. Which lion do you think you're like the most? And that's a little odd because I never really thought of the lions having a personality until the Netflix show premiered, and then all of a sudden they had an official personality, even though we don't really see much of that on the show itself. But if you go to the website, the official website for the show, they have profiles for the characters, and that includes the lions as well, and they have personalities, and I had to read them to like really figure out what they were supposed to be like. But I read them, and I'm gonna probably say I'm a lot more like the blue lion. They talk about the lion being, you know, friendly and laid back and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, it's not like an exact match or anything, but I feel that it's not as far away from my personality as the other lions are, so I'm gonna go with blue. And then number 3, favorite lion, it's blue. Blue's my favorite color, so I've always loved the blue lion just because it's blue and because it's lenses, or it used to be lenses at some point. So I've always liked blue, and I have this affinity, like with my characters, I tend to have affinity most of the time with either fire characters or like ice characters. And in Voltron, it's not that I don't like Keith, I like him, I just don't identify much with him a lot. So I'm a Pisces, or whatever you want to think of it. I'm actually the worst Pisces in existence, so I'm only half joking here. But you know, I do feel an affinity with water in general, and the blue lion is, you know, water, ice, that sort of stuff. I just think it's a really cool lion. I love all the things that it can do. So yeah, it's always been my favorite, really. Number 4, which character do you think you're most like? Now this is a completely different question, really. If I have to choose one of the main characters, it would probably be Pidge, because we're both nerdy, but then at the same time, Pidge's whole story is about loving her family and wanting to see them again, and I really identify with that. Like, my family is the most important thing to me. So yeah, I would probably say Pidge. Number 5, how did you find Voltron? Well, I'm old, so I actually was around to see Voltron, the original Japanese version, or more like the Japanese adapted by the United States version thing. Like the first Voltron that actually came to the United States. It also was distributed in Latin America, so I got to see that one. I've been a fan of Voltron since I was like 4, so how did you find Voltron? I don't exactly remember, I just know that it was on TV and I liked watching it. So when the Netflix series came along, I'm like, this is my childhood, I have to watch. And so I'm now watching the new Voltron as well, so yeah. Number 6, least favorite character. Well, if you ask me, it varies depending on the series. Like in the original Voltron, I was never really fond of Allura. She was kind of, you know, the damsel in distress most of the time. But Allura in the new series is actually pretty darn awesome. So I can't really complain about her. I don't know. I don't dislike any of the main characters. I love them all. Even Coran, which I wasn't expecting when the show started, honestly. I don't know. I mean, I guess Zarkon, I never really liked him. I was always more of a Lotor type person, even when I didn't necessarily like Lotor. Like in the original, I didn't like him. I thought he was a whiny little brat, honestly. But Zarkon, he's kind of forgettable. I remember Hagar. I didn't really remember Zarkon, so I'm gonna say him. I don't like hate him or anything, but he's just like there. He's a very stereotypical villain to me, honestly. Number 7, least favorite line. I don't think I have one. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I'm bothered with like the yellow lion, mainly because it's just not as fast, and I'm really like, I like seeing lions moving around and zooming by and stuff. So sometimes the yellow, I'm not entirely sure what exactly green does specifically either. Like, it's a forest lion. Okay, its powers don't seem as impressive, its special powers. So either of those two, but the others I like, I really love, and those two, even those two I still like though, so it's not like I hate them. Number 8, favorite ship. And oh man, am I gonna get some flack for this. My favorite ship is Lance and Allura. Don't hit me. I've shipped Lance and Allura since I was 4 years old. I shipped them in the original show, and I'm pretty certain even now that they were actually my first ship ever. Like, before anime was a thing, before the internet was a thing, I was shipping Lance and Allura. I wanted them to get together so bad. So bad. And it was a little bit easier then because Lance was less of a jokester back in the original one. So I actually really liked him. He was more of a rival with Keith, so there was that little like love triangle right there. And yeah, he was flirty, but then again, he always seemed to sort of focus his flirting on Laura, even though he flirted with other girls as well, but it was less. Like now at this Lance, he flirts with anything that might even remotely be female if it walks in front of him. So it's a little bit harder to see it. I understand, like if you have only seen the Netflix series, I understand that you think I'm crazy right now. But in the original, I really like them, and I can't let go of that. Even in the new one, I know it won't ever happen. I know the creators are not trying to make it happen at all, but every time they have a scene together and every time they talk to each other, I'm like, it's so crazy, I swear to God. I know I'm weird, but it's one of those things where I love them in the original, so I can't let go of it, and I ship them. I'm sorry. I realize that I'm like the only person in the entire universe who ships these two. But I'm okay with that. I wear that badge proudly, whatever. Number 9. Least favorite ship. Well, I don't know. I mean, in the original, it used to be Keith and Laura. Not because I didn't like them as a couple necessarily, because I mean they were the quintessential leader of the group gets together with the princess type thing, kind of like Mario and Princess Peach or something like Link and Zelda. It was that sort of archetype of a relationship, so I didn't necessarily mind it. They took over the whole thing. They took over the whole show. Like every other minute it was like, Keith, Allura, I'll save you, Allura! And it was just like, ugh, stop! I'm okay with them getting together, just don't freaking rub it in our faces every 5 seconds. So yeah, they bothered me a little, and honestly, they still bother me. Like every time they're standing too close together or they have a scene together, I'm like, oh god, they're gonna do it. They're gonna go ahead and try to push Keith and Allura on us. And it's not nice! But then they don't. So I feel a little bit relieved that DreamWorks isn't going down that path, at least not yet. Fingers crossed that they don't. But again, it's not about the characters. I don't mind them together, at least in the original. And this one is a little bit harder because Keith is so emo, really. So it's a little bit harder to pair him up with anyone who isn't like Lance or Shiro, because they have a history. But if it was just because of the characters, I could see a path for it to happen. I just don't want it to take over all over again. So yeah, Keith and Allura. Number 10. Character you have a crush on. You guys. Lotor, you guys. I mean, just look at Lotor. Just look at him. It's... yeah. I love him. Like, I was so worried because the only thing I could remember about Lotor, and I said this in my previous video, I'm sure of it, the only real thing I could remember about Lotor from the original show was that I loved saying his name, and he was a spoiled brat who was in love with Allura. And his only motivation in life was to force Allura to marry him. So I was really worried that Lotor was going to be awful in the Netflix remake. I'm glad to say, now that I have watched season 3, he is perfect. I love him. I mean, just look at him. Look at those, like, Miliardo Peacecraft good looks. You can't just not fall in love with that guy. He's so hot. Also, he's smart and he's intimidating and he's not reckless at all. He has everything calculated and it's like just the exact type of bad guy and villain that I love. So, holy shit, I have such a crush on Lotor. Apart from Lotor though, I mean, it's really hard not to fall in love with Shiro. He's so good, and he's so good looking. So, it used to be Shiro, now it's Lotor. They're pretty much almost neck and neck, I would say. Number 11. Character you'd become best friends with? Come on. Lance. It would be freaking hilarious. Come on. Who doesn't want to just hang out with Lance? He's awesome. Also, Pidge, because I feel like we would totally nerd out about the same stuff. And Hunk, because food, guys, come on. And he's a cutie, so yeah. I would totally hang out with any of them. Number 12. A scene that made you cry? I'm not much of a crier. I haven't really cried in anything when it came to Voltron, but especially the scenes of Allura and her father. I think it was in season 2, I'm not sure. There's a scene where she finds sort of a hologram of her father, and that was really sad for me, because it's like, you saw your father die, you saw your entire world and your entire people die, and it's just to have that one moment where she sort of sees him again. I can't even imagine. Like, I would give anything to see my grandfather again, for example, so that one was pretty sad for me. Number 13, a scene that made you laugh. Okay, there's a scene, I believe it's in season 2 as well, where they're flying the castle, because all the lines are separated, right? And the castle is, Allura and Corin are in the castle, and they're flying the castle, and there's like a wormhole of sorts, and they keep passing through the wormhole, and Corin just keeps like changing every time they go through the wormhole. It's hysterical. Like, 'cause first he starts changing like actual style, like his style just starts changing. It's like punk rock Corin and like, you know, old-timey Corin. It's just funny. And then he starts de-aging. He starts getting younger and younger and younger. But he keeps the mustache. So in the end you have like a little baby with the mustache. Every time I think about it, like, there were tears, guys. The first time I watched that episode, I was crying so hard because it was so funny. And still, every time I think about that moment, I just laugh. It's so good. Okay, now there's a few that come up here that I actually just probably won't really answer because I don't have an answer. It's like 14, 15, and 16 are favorite Voltron gif, favorite Voltron meme, and favorite Voltron cosplay or cosplayer. I don't really follow cosplay, so I don't know. I haven't seen that many memes, so I don't know, and I haven't really been checking Voltron gifs either, so I don't know. So I'm just gonna skip those, I guess. Go straight to 17, which is character you'd cosplay. Probably Lance. Just, I like the blue outfit. So, the uniform, the paladin uniform. Probably that one. They all look the same, but I like the blue one better, so I would do that. Number 18. A character that you think is underrated. I honestly don't think Hunk gets enough credit. Like, he's such a sweet guy. He's so great with mechanics. He feeds them. He's just so sweet, and I really wish we could see more of Hunk. Like, I literally know nothing about his background, so I wish I could see more of Hunk. I also wish I could see more of Lance. Like I said earlier, I mean, Lance is always, he's sort of the second leader, I guess. He's sort of, pun intended, he's the Lancer of the group, in a sense. If Keith is the leader, then Lance is the Lancer. So we see a lot of that, of him in that capacity, in him just being a foil for Keith. But I want to know more about him, about his background. How did he get to the academy? What his dreams were in getting to the academy? Does he have any people important in his life? Like, I just want to see more of him and more of the serious side of him. Even though I love the jokey side of him, I wish we could see more of serious Lance, just because. 19 is favorite fan art. I haven't really seen much of the fan art, but I love the ones that are like Mama Allura and Dad is Shiro, and then all the others are little kids. I just think it's adorable because, yeah, they are kind of Space Mom and Dad, you know, at least in the first 2 seasons they were like that. So it was kind of, it's always kind of cute, makes me smile. Number 20, 3 things you lovable about Voltron. Well, first of all, the art is gorgeous. I've said this before as well. It's animated by Studio Mare, the ones who did The Legend of Korra, and they are like top-notch when it comes to animation. So it's just gorgeous to look at. I feel astounded just watching it. Another thing I love is that it's my childhood, guys. It's like the first anime I ever saw. It's one of the first shows that I ever got into. It had the first ship that I ever shipped. nostalgia in a bottle for me. That's what Voltron is, and I love that it's still an important thing for people, even from later generations from mine. So that, and I like that it's hysterical. I laugh so much, and even then the funny bits don't take away from the serious bits. So it's very balanced in that way, because you can have a show that's a little bit more funny on the funny side, and then you can't take any of the serious parts seriously. But Voltron manages to balance very well, so I really like that. 21. 3 things you dislike about Voltron. I don't know. They keep coming to all these planets and then never go back again, and I sort of have to like learn about the planet and then forget about it. I don't like that aspect of it. They don't seem to be able to decide what they want a wormhole to be, which I think is strange, because they throw in a lot of like really nerdy sciencey mentions here and there. Just, I was watching season 3 and they mentioned Fraunhofer lines, and I'm like, yes, I love that. But then other stuff like wormholes, it's just like, what are you doing, show? And like the comet, that's not a comet. Comets are made of like icy stuff. If it's made out of a different material, then guess what? It's not a comet. I don't know if I have a third one, so I'm just gonna keep going. Number 22, Bro TP. I mean, it's hard not to say Keith and Shiro to this one. I honestly kind of almost ship them, like actual shipping. I know I will get tons of flack for this, because this fandom as it stands right now is basically all about clans. So Keith and Lance, people really love them. It's like the #1 ship pairing. I much prefer Keith and Shiro just because I can already see the bond that they have. Like, Shiro is so important to Keith, you guys, and Shiro also looks at Keith almost as a young brother in a sense. And I could think that bond sort of could turn to shipping really quickly and really easily. But, you know, even when it doesn't come to shipping, I still ship the 2 of them. I still like them as a bro TP because they're just so close. I like that, and I wish we could see more of that, of how they became so close to begin with. Number 23. Favorite outfit. My favorite outfit of all time in Voltron is just Lance's regular, like, civilian clothes. Because he looks so comfortable. Like, jeans and sneakers and a t-shirt and a jacket, and that's it. Ready to go. And he looks great, too. So, you know, all the others have, like, these, like, spacey type clothing. And Lance is just like, I'm a dude. I'm just hanging out, you guys. It's like normal terrestrial fashion. Whatever. He's just so normal. I like that. I like that it makes him stand out. So yeah. Number 24. Favorite weapon. I mean, the sword, you guys. It's a sword. How could you not say the sword in this question? It's a freaking sword. It's awesome. So, the sword. Number 25. Most inspiring scene. This one is a new one that I just watched in this season, and I was waiting for it. I've been waiting for it since literally day 1. Like, I would look at the pink trail behind the black lion and go, they're gonna do it! They're gonna do it! And I've been doing that since the first episode of season 1, and finally, I got my wish. The lion switcheroo has happened. You know, Keith is in the black lion, Lance is in the red lion, and Allura is in the blue lion. And it's my childhood comeback all over again. This is the team that I grew up with. This is the Voltron team that I knew when I was a child. So just seeing them fly together for the first time and get into formation to form Voltron, even if the first time they didn't quite actually pull it off. Just that moment of seeing them all fly together and seeing all 5 of them in the split screens, I got chills. Like, that really hit me really hard. The nostalgia was off the hook. And I really love that finally the team that I know and grew up with and love is now come together. And yeah, it's a little bit awkward because what's Shiro gonna do now? Is he just gonna be in the controls? Like, what's gonna happen to Shiro? But I've been waiting for that moment since the new show started, so I'm so glad to finally see it happen. I literally, like, got chills, really. Number 26. A character you pity. It's probably Allura. just because, you know, she lost her father, she lost her entire planet. I usually find it really easy to feel for characters like that in any fiction universe. So yeah, I feel really bad for her, and I like that she's now got a new family of sorts, but still, like, it's like Spock, your planet's gone. Why? Like, how can you even move right now? It's, on the one hand, it's really sad and I feel for them, and on the other hand, it's really inspiring, because even though they're basically, like, apart from Corinne, she's basically all alone in the universe, she's still going to finish her mission, and she's still going to do what her father wanted her to do, which is basically save the universe. So it's kind of inspiring at the same time. So you go over. Number 27. Something you wish had happened. I kind of liked everything they've done so far. I don't think I have one specific moment when I was like, oh, they should have done that. Kind of wish that Shiro didn't always have to get captured by the Galra. Like, how many times has that happened now? They even kind of lampshaded in season 3 when Shiro, they find him again, and Shiro's like, Keith, how many times are you gonna have to save me from the Galra? Maybe that. I mean, it's not that I hate it when it happens, I just wish it didn't happen as often. Could be worse. Could be Allura. That would be terrible. Number 28. Something you wish hadn't happened. It's kind of the same as the previous answer, really. I just put the two of them together. Also, the whole idea that Zarkon and Hagar were actually like a thing. I didn't need that. I really didn't need that. Seriously, I'm good with the Galra sort of, you know, reproducing asexually. I'm fine with that. Just go with that. And 29, favorite headcanon. And this is a good one because you will never be able to unconvince me that Pidge has a crush on Shiro. Like, that, for me, that's not even headcanon, that's just fact. And I felt this way even before I knew that Pidge was a girl. So, like, just the way they interacted, and you could see, like, a little bit of hero worship in their interactions, and I think it's cute. I think it's adorable. I didn't see much of that in season 3, which I missed. So, maybe for season 4. But that's something that you will never be able to convince me otherwise. I swear to God. I'm sure I will take that with me to the grave, that Pidge has a crush on Shiro, and bless fanfiction for actually going with it. Because I know I'm not the only one who feels that way, and I'm so attached to that headcanon, I can't even tell you. And that's about it for the 30-day challenge. I know I only made it to 29, but then 30 was just like, anything you want to say about Voltron? All I want to say is that I love Voltron. I'm really glad that DreamWorks and Netflix teamed up to bring it back to me. I honestly, like, I'm so excited with Netflix right now because I'm watching so many great things from them. This month, they just released a trailer for the Magic School Bus reboot that I was talking about last time. I'm so hyped, you guys. Like, Netflix, you're doing great, sweetie. Just keep going. I don't care if you're $20 billion in debt. You're doing great. Go. Keep going. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the 30-day challenge based on Voltron. Let me know, you guys, if you watched the show. Have you watched season 3? If you haven't, why are you watching this video? But if you have, what did you think about it? Let me know. I'm always here to fangirl with other people about this show, especially if it's about Lotor, because I fucking love Lotor. Okay, he is the actual best. And I am so excited that he's made it into the show. I freaking love that his entire team is made up of girls. Yes, please. They're just awesome. I love them. I will never learn their names. Let me mention that. I will never learn their names. Their names are weird, and I don't have enough brain storage for those names. But I love them. Individually, as characters, I love them already. Let me know what you think about the show, about season 3, about Lotor, about my crazy shipping habits here and there. Feel free to comment and let me know what you thought of this video. And if there are any topics that you want me to talk about in the future, feel free to drop them in a comment as well. If it's anything geeky, TV, books, movies, anything like that, and I know about it, I'm knowledgeable about the topic, I will make sure to add it to my list of videos to make in the future. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like my stuff, please subscribe to my channel. I'm always happy to interact with you guys, and I love seeing you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. It makes me so happy to see that, so please go ahead and do it. In the meantime, you can find me on social media. I am on Twitter and Instagram at girlsoweird with underscores between the words, and I am on Tumblr at girlsoweird with hyphens between the words. You can find a Facebook page for this vlog at facebook.com/FreakingNarnia. And as usual, you can visit my main website at FreakingNarnia.com. All my videos are there, so in case you missed one and want to catch up, just go ahead. They're all uploaded there and posted there for you to watch. Also, remember, I do have a Redbubble store where I make art from my favorite quotes from my favorite fandoms, and then you can use that art to print on different types of merch, such as t-shirts, coffee cups, computer covers, bags, all sorts of cool stuff in there for you to check out. So please do visit and maybe purchase something if you're in the mood. My Voltron quotes are actually some of the best sellers, so be sure to check that out. I have one for the team. I have a few quotes from like when they discovered that Pitch was a girl. Those sell really well, so maybe go and check that out, and feel free to purchase something if you are in the mood. And that's about it for me today. I will see you guys next week with another video from all the way in freaking Narnia. And I will now go back to drooling over screen caps of Voltron because I have nothing better to do with my life. See you guys! I've always loved Lance. You know, whatever, I'm a pissy, pretty daring, and oh man, am I gonna be... And go straight to 17. And go straight to 17. I will take that until my Voltron quotes are actually